So say we have a coin problem like this. If Amy has 15 coins totaling $2.70, and the coins are quarters and dimes, we want to know how many of each coin does she have. So the first thing we should do is label our variables. So we're talking only about quarters and dimes. So I want to say let Q be the number of quarters, which is one of the things we're trying to find. And then the other thing we're trying to find is D, which I'm going to say is the number of dimes. So now we use the problem and these variables to create a system of equations. So we know that Amy has 15 coins in total. So if we take the number of quarters she has and add it to the number of dimes she has, we should have 15 coins, right? The second piece of information we have is that that she has $2.70 total. So basically, if we have a certain number of quarters, which are worth 25 cents each, and we add that to the number of dimes we have, which are worth 10 cents each, then we'll get $2.70 at the end, right? And so these are our two equations, and since we have two variables, all we need are two equations to solve. So now the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of these decimals, since they're just going to give us a hard time. So what I want to do is multiply the second equation by 100. So what that's going to do is it's going to move all the decimal points over to the right 2 spots. So rewriting our equations, we get Q plus D is equal to 15. We didn't change the first one at all. And then the second one becomes 25Q plus 10D is equal to 270. So there. Now we have our system of equations in a form that we are the most comfortable with, and we're ready to solve. So the first thing we do is we pick a variable to get rid of, and usually I pick the variable with the smallest coefficients, which looks like the D, right? So we want to get rid of the D by adding the two equations together. So if we multiply this top equation by -10, then we're going to get a -10D here, which means that when we add the equations together, the D's are going to cancel out. So let's do that. Multiplying the top equation by -10, we get -10 times Q is -10Q minus 10D is equal to -150. And then the second equation we're just going to leave alone. So now combining these two, we're left with 15Q, the D's cancel out, which is what we wanted, is equal to 120. And so Q is 120 over 15, which is simplified down to 8. So now we found our Q, and now we want our D. And so we plug it into either of the equations, and it looks like the first equation is going to be the simplest. The Q plus D is equal to 15. So we want to plug Q is equal to 8 into Q plus D is equal to 15. So doing that, we have that 8 plus D is equal to 15. So D is equal to 15 minus 8, which is 7. So now we have our Q and our D, and we can write our answer in a full sentence. Amy has 8 quarters and 7 dimes. And if you feel unsure about your answer, you can always go up and check and make sure that all the conditions are satisfied. So if we know that Amy has 8 quarters and 7 dimes, when you add all those coins together, you get 15 coins. And then for the amount, 8 quarters is $2, and then 7 dimes is 70 cents. So she has $2.70 total. So our solution actually works, and it is true that Amy has 8 quarters and 7 dimes.